There you are. This is Larry Skynt's Night Circus, wandering through the natural beauty of the landscape of Dublin City, looking for some more artists. Oh, I think we may be in luck. Who do we have here but the beautiful songstress, Canci.
Hi Larry,
How's it going, Canci?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
I'm great as well, and it's a pleasure to see you again. You've had a big year so far. You've been at loads of festivals.
Yes, I this year I played Knockanstockin Festival and Independence in Cork, and I'm playing in Electric Picnic this year as well. So.
Right, and from the beginning of the year, you've decided to focus on your music as your career, and you've been putting a lot of work into a portfolio for an album. How's that been going for you, and where is it leading? What do you think's going down?
Good. Yeah, it's growing. I completely changed my style from what I was doing last year, which is more solo, independent kind of music, and now it's bigger sound. And
so you have a band backing you a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And it's more poppy, you were saying.
Yeah, more poppy, more commercial, more upbeat.
Is that a natural progression?
I think so. I mean, I've changed my writing style over the time that I've been writing, so I'm writing much more light and fun, happy songs that are fun for people to listen to, I think.
And you're looking to get this album up to the next level. You want to make the portfolio into an album, so you're developing that. So what have you done with your melodies and things that are different, apart from making them more upbeat? How have you changed your style?
I just think it's a little bit more. I used to write a lot of poetry, so my songs were a little bit more slow and easygoing, and this is much more dance. And my song was on an ad last year, and it got a good reception for that. So I'd like to do a lot more commercial work and stuff that people can dance to and enjoy.
And music's been in your family the whole time as well, so it rubbed off on you. Do you want to mention a bit about that?
My mom used to sing with the Allman Brothers, and my whole family are musical. My brother's a brilliant musician, and we all jam together as well and write together. So
your mother must be very proud of you.
It's like a well of music.
Great. And what tunes? You're going to play 2 tunes for us. What tunes are you going to play?
I'm going to play a song called I Live Here, which was featured on a TV ad last year, and another song called No Space in Between.
Is that a new one?
They're on the album, so
right. They're what you're pushing forward.
Yes.
What about your internet presence? Where can people check out some of your stuff?
I'm on Facebook, Canci Song Musician on Facebook, and also on Twitter.
Right.
And cancisong.com.
Great. Thanks very much, Canci. I'm looking forward to hear what you can do.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to see you as always.
Thank you.
This is Larry Skynt's Night Circus. We're going to give the stage to Canci on this beautiful day by the canal.
This is No Space in Between.
How long
This is I Live Here. I suffered the blame and I would do it again if the price was right. I took immediate action, found my own satisfaction when you took flight. I've never been here before, but I have heard all the stories. What was shattered in glory was shattered in fear, and now I live here, and now I live here. All along, it was the wrong way. I should have known. What more can I say? He needed someone to blame. I needed the same. What started out as a game is now ended in tears. But now it's all clear. And now it's all clear. I've got my ticket in hand. I've got my new master plan. So what more did I need? Trying to avoid this catastrophe. And still I don't know what to believe. Constantly changing my mind. I do all the time. My life has been redefined. The change has been so severe. And now I live here. And now I live here. And now I live here. And now I live
There you are, back with Larry Skynt's Night Circus. We've come to Tara. We're down the country again, looking for some mystical music to inspire us all. And I think we may have found a beautiful couple. It is. Sorry for interrupting you there. Nick Daniels, good to see you.
Hey there.
And Faracy Moon Grouse. Could you just come with me and we'll have a little chat about what you've been up to? Right, Faracy and Nick. You're both a musical couple, you're a married couple and you're a musical couple. Now, when did you discover, Faracy, that you had a slant towards performance? Because as we will go on to explain, you're into everything, literally. But when did you discover your own talent, your natural talent? How old were you? Or not even how old are you? How far back for you was it when you discovered your natural talent?
Music, I think probably I was about maybe 10 or 11 when I realized I could actually sing. It was kind of a self-protective thing in a way. I lived in a neighborhood where I was the only white kid, and somehow it got around that I could sing. And I used to get kicked out of the bus seat and everything like that, and suddenly they're like, "Girl, I heard you could sing." And so I'd have to sing on command. It was like, okay,
Right.
Sing some Mariah Carey, I'm safe now.
Okay, and that was when did you find a little bit of a buzz off that from performing, even though you were forced into it?
It was kind of a buzz, but it was mostly safety. It was like, I'm safe now, I'm accepted.
Right. So when you took that a bit further and you took a job in an Italian restaurant, and that's when you've said to me, we've talked a bit, that you're a bit of a shy and a little bit withdrawn character. So you discovered an ability to be able to perform to a greater extent by creating characters.
Yeah.
And your first one.
Oh, geez, I'd always come up with some character. I like to put on accents. I mean, when I was a kid, believe it or not, I tried to put on an Irish accent, which I'm not going to do for you because it would be horrible. But
Right.
Eventually I found that I was quite good at doing a Russian accent.
Right.
So I'd become this character, Sveta, and I'd be at the Italian restaurant, and I'm from Ukraine. And I'd talk to people, and it was a
You
lot
were the host
easier.
and you sang.
Yeah, I'd sing, and often they'd ask me for the most random songs, and if I could sing them, sometimes they'd give me a bit of money.
You're from Minneapolis and you ended up in Europe, in Lisbon and Seville, And you also studied opera.
Yeah.
How did that go for you?
It went all right for a while, and then I had a lot of panic attacks during my auditions, and I didn't complete the opera education. Ended up doing a degree in anthropology and history.
And then life took over, so you took a break for a while from performing, and that's when you met Nick, your husband, Nick Daniels.
Hey there.
And Nick also found that music was more than soccer, more than the Premiership. Music was the thing. How did that happen for you?
I used to be into football as a kid, and somehow like music came along.
Right.
I asked my parents for piano lessons.
Yeah.
Started playing the guitar as a teenager.
Self-taught.
Self-taught on the guitar, and then I played in bands when I was like 16 upwards.
Experimental stuff, I believe.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then after uni, a couple of years after that, I moved down to Spain to go and teach English.
And that's where you met Faracy.
Indeed, yeah. And we'd be sitting at home. I'd have the guitar. We'd write songs. We kind of like play together quite a lot, especially Sundays. Everything closes down.
So you discovered Faracy had a talent, a beautiful voice, and in a way you backed Faracy, and you write and compose prose, poetry, and you also did something for your masters, which is very interesting, an installation. You created instruments out of the elements. What was that all about?
Well, I got really tired of everything being digital, so I wanted to go as far away as I could from digital. So I thought, the 4 elements. So I created a wind piano. I hollowed out a piano, took everything off, so it was like an Aeolian harp out in the wind, and it played.
Right.
And I had some solar panels, and I created an instrument that was powered by the sun, another one that was made out of ice, and it melted, and it kind of played with chimes, and another one that was an earth instrument that it worked when you walked by it on the vibrations. And I wanted people to experience being away from their phones for just an hour and see how they'd interact with that. And it was both to interact with nature, but also to get away from digital life, getting away from everything being repeatable. I wanted something that was ephemeral, a one-time only event.
So you're into the magic of the moment.
Yeah, very kind of John Cage.
And it comes through with all of your performances, because you improvise when you perform with Nick as well.
Yeah.
So at the moment now, you perform gigs at open mics in Brighton, but you're going to work on an album in the future, the two of you, yeah?
That's right, yeah.
And what's this album going to be themed about?
I think there'll be some original bits and some covers that we like.
Right. You're folk, sort of folky sort of side, but you have an interesting slant because you create characters with each song. So how is that going to be incorporated into the album?
Definitely.
And you use that as a cover for yourself as a performer to create characters.
Yeah.
How does that work for you?
It gives me a little bit of distance because I'm, I think, a little too sensitive maybe to deal with the public on my own. It gives me security blanket, but it also makes it more interesting. You've got these different characters to see. Right.
And you write poetry and prose. Where can people see your poetry and prose?
Google me. Faracy Moon Grouse. I'm the only one in the world. I've got a website my husband's working on right now, and I've been published a few times. So, yeah, right. Google me.
And also, your music is available on SoundCloud. Your music's available on SoundCloud. You have a couple of tunes on SoundCloud.
Yeah, that's right.
What can people expect if they go looking for you on SoundCloud?
You'll get some of the like more serious songs that Faracy's written.
Right.
You get some of the comedy songs.
Right.
There's all sorts.
Great. And you came to Ireland on a holiday, but you also had a couple of gigs along the way as well. How was Faracy was mentioning that you feel almost at home in Ireland, more comfortable. So how was the reception to your music? How do people accept it over here? How do people accept it over here? Because I assume this isn't the first time you've played in Ireland.
They're so much more supportive, and they listen. They actually listen. I think they're looking for the good instead of the bad in musicians.
Right.
They really want you to do well, and they're really supportive. Yeah, really encouraging.
And one last thing we'll mention before you tell us what you're going to play. You're working on a film for a long time, and what's the film team about?
It's a screenplay I wrote called Finding the Sea, and it's slightly autobiographical, but I've changed the geographic locations. It's about a woman who was born in fascist Spain and grew up in the Soviet Union, and then we find her teaching in the UK, and she meets a young Portuguese man. She's half Spanish, half Portuguese herself.
Lots of imagination, right.
And you see how their lives unfold.
And that's a work in progress.
It is.
So what are you going to perform for us now today, Nick and Faracy?
We're going to start off with a song called Chasing the Doom, which is one of Faracy's.
Right.
And then we're going to follow that with Silver Dagger, which is an old American folk song.
Right, and you're going to do a bit of prose to Nick's melodies.
Yeah.
What's the prose?
I'm gonna read. Well, first I'll read a poem called "Personal Ad for Alter Ego."
Right.
It was kind of me putting in an order for a new husband, and it worked. Personal ad for alter ego. Exiled egomaniac with terminally humble genius seeks potential profit with a delete's approachability. Must be a perfect ruin held together with indestructible glue. In return will comprehend construction flaws with molten hard-drying clear love. Preternaturally doomed hope with obsessive tendencies seeks preternaturally hopeful doom with childlike wonderment. Must see beauty in the decrepit and humor inappropriately. In return will drool with manic laughter and embrace short of suffocation. Macabre optimist with antiseptic heart seeks Venusian pessimist with self-cleaning soul. Must clutter voids and listen interestedly. In return will sell emotional baggage on eBay and adore genuinely with perfect humility. This is a song I wrote called Chasing the Doom, and it's about my struggle with bipolar disorder, but I also thought the Mind charity in the UK could use a theme song, and I think I might hit them up and see if they need it. So let's have a go. For years, I kept it mostly to myself. Some magic muse up on the shelf that took me away from my pain. It was just a little too magical to share with just anyone. It chose my friends for me. It came to me in seasons. You could see it in my eyes. It was live now, pay later. And when it stopped, I'd want to die. So much better than the drugs I took, and it even changed the way I look. But you know I'd gone mad inside. Oh, I said happiness is not my thing, till it came like a breath of spring, or just a disease of the mind. For what some call inspiration, I gave most of my life. So here is my question: how else can I feel alive? So much better than the drugs I took. It always finds me, I never look away from me this time. Oh, it seems everywhere I look, I can never find what it took away from me this time. Am I chasing it, or is it chasing me? I don't know. Am I chasing it, or am I chasing me? I don't know. Oh, am I chasing that doom, or is the doom chasing me. Oh, I don't know. Am I chasing the dew? Or is the dew chasing me? This is an old American folk song called The Silver Dagger. I think it's an Appalachian folk song. Don't sing love songs, you wake my mother. She's sleeping here right by my side. And in her right hand a silver dagger. She says that I can't be your bride. All men are false, says my mother. They'll tell you wicked loving lies, and the very next evening they'll court another, leave you alone to pine and sigh. Go court another tender maiden and hope that she will be your bride. For I have been warned and I've decided to sleep alone all of my life. Don't sing love songs, you'll wake my mother. She's sleeping here right by my side, and in her right hand a silver dagger. She says that I can't be your bride.
We've left the streets of Dublin City to come out to the suburbs of Dublin because we believe there's some magical music being made. Let's have a knock on this door and see what we find. Welcome to Larry Skynt's Night Circus. Oh my dear.
Oh my God, Larry.
JM!
How are you?
Reverend JM's Panic Worship.
Yes.
Yeah.
You found us. Who let you in?
I don't know. It was some small guy.
Jesus.
Right.
A little guy.
So, Reverend JM.
Yes.
What's the story? You've been together since 2008 as a group. How have things moved since then? Now we're in 2013. There's been a lot of things happening.
There's been changes.
There's been changes. So could you give us a little run through of brief history and time of Reverend JM's Panic Worship?
Okay. I'll do it very quickly.
Yeah.
We started in 2007.
Yeah.
We were thrown together by fate.
Right.
It was myself, Claude Rooney, Bill Wright, and a woman by the name of Claire Williams.
Right.
And we made sort of country music.
Yeah.
It was fast. It
And
was furious.
what was your inspiration? What was your inspiration musically at that time?
At that point in time, I'm not sure. It was a lot of skiffle bands.
Right.
You know, like the Lonnie Donegan sort of sound.
Right.
Cause we used the box bass, and it was mainly snare drum, box bass driven.
Right.
So it was that tum chicka tum chicka tum chicka tum chicka.
Right. And that developed into a new format. Yeah.
Right. Well, it developed. That band fell apart because different guys and gals were doing different things. So
Right.
we reformed in, I suppose, 2010.
Right.
And we've been going ever since then.
You released an album, and then you released a second album, which was launched last September.
That's right.
That's a big highlight for Reverend JM's Panic Worship, a big gig in the Grand Social. How's that been received, the second album?
The second album has got a lot
Cast
of good
Iron
feedback.
Dentures.
Cast Iron Dentures.
Yeah, how's it been going for you? Could you tell us where it's available?
Oh, it's available in Tower Records. I think there's somewhere else in Dublin. Freebird.
Right.
Also in iTunes and the website that we have.
What's your website?
www.reverendjm.com.
www.reverendjm.com, just for all of you out there. So you're not only a master musician of original sounds, you make your own magical musical creations.
Yeah.
Could we have a little look at some of the things you've put together, please?
I suppose so, yeah.
Oh, thank you, JM.
I'll show you. Okay, to begin, I suppose, is... the one that only gets played very infrequently by the Circus. It's a song called Circus.
Right.
It's a song that I wrote about 10 years ago. It's called Circus. And it's the one that only gets played very infrequently by by one of our band members. This is we call it the oven dish because
I wonder why.
Is an
An
oven
oven dish.
The amount of grease on this when I first found it, but these are tuned sympathetically so that when you whack it, you get a nice distinctive ring that's in tune.
Right.
And that's often played with this particular instrument here, which I call the iridesiphone. Other people have called canjos, or like a 2-string diddly bow or something like that.
Right.
These are also tuned sympathetically, D and G.
And obviously that'd be on a pickup on stage.
Oh, it would have to be, yeah. It's,
well,
but we've got a little pickup I got at a guitar shop in Dublin. They were doing them cheap, so I bought about 6 of them, and
Right.
5 of them didn't work. That's why they were doing them cheap.
Right.
But we've got another one here, which is also on the slide principle. This is a cigar box guitar. It's made popular by what's his name? C6 Steve. Yeah, that's the fella. He's
Probably southern United States where
Yeah.
they'd be all playing the cigar box guitar.
I suppose so. I mean, there's a whole movement about cigar box guitar.
Yeah, there's a bit of an international flavour to Reverend J.M.'s Panic Worship. Yourself, New York,
Oh yeah, I'm from an island off the coast of Long Island. That's correct.
and the rest of the band, Bill.
Bill is from Glasgow originally, but he's got a lot of miles under his boots.
Right. And we have 2 Dubliners, of course, as well.
We have 2 Dubliners, which have they'd rather not say where they come from. So.
Okay, we won't mention it then. We'll keep that a secret. A secret.
Yeah.
So what can people expect when Reverend J.M. get up on stage?
Well, they can expect the unexpected.
Yes.
We use a lot of different musical instruments. We use homemade instruments. We use T-chess bass, washboard. Bill plays the bouzouki in a way that is not like anyone else playing the bouzouki. So a lot of times you hear bouzouki, you go, "Oh, Andy Irvine."
Right.
No, not like Andy Irvine.
Right.
More like Jimi
What would you like?
Hendrix.
What would you like to leave the audience with after they've seen one of your shows? What would the feeling you'd like to give them? Because you're obviously looking for something. Because I've seen you a couple of times, and it's striking to say the least what goes on. So what would you like to leave the audience with?
I suppose the best way to describe it, Larry, was we'd like them to feel struck.
Yeah.
Do you know,
Panic worship.
we'd like them to feel that they've engaged or felt that they've been engaged with a really interesting multimedia experience, but not in the way that multimedia is sort of described in a modern sense.
Right.
When you say multimedia, it's like
It's
CDs, DVDs,
yeah.
LEDs, screens, all that shite. Not at all.
Right.
This is pretty much roots-based, avant-garde.
So people can see you soon on the 25th of September in McSorley's in Ranelagh. So that's a part of the festival that's going on in
Yeah.
Ranelagh at that time.
Yeah, the Ranelagh Arts Festival. We've been involved in it for several different years.
Right.
We were in it last year in Humphreys, and the year before we did something sort of as part of the festival, and the year before we did something as well.
The next gig you're playing is the Gypsy Rose, which people will not be able to get to see from this show.
Unfortunately.
But they will get to see it in McSorley's if they like what they hear tonight, which they will.
Oh,
they
yeah.
will.
I hope so.
So we'll just, the albums, we'll run through one more time
Yeah.
where the album Cast Iron Dentures is available.
Cast Iron Dentures is at Freebird Records. It's at Tower Records. If you can find it, I think they're using it as a coffee coaster or something at the minute. Oh, it's been there. I don't know. But it's also available online at our website, at all of our gigs.
Right.
But generally speaking, people who listen to it go, "Wow, there's a lot of percussion on that." And that's entirely the right response.
Right, great. I'm going to give the floor to you,
Thanks,
JM
Larry.
and the guys.
Cool.
Looking forward to some magical music to be heard right now.
Cool.
This is Larry Skynt's Night Circus. We're going to sit back and tune out.
Hello, I'm Reverend J.M., and I'm with the band. And speaking of the band, on my right-hand side, Clodagh Rooney on T-chess bass, washboard, etc. To her right, Mr. James Rooney, drums, percussion, etc. To his right, Mr. William Wright on many things.
Don't you call my number, 'cause I won't be in. Don't look now. Don't look now. Don't look now. Don't look now. If you need somebody, don't stand up with my door. If you see me, don't bother me. I ain't hanging around on the surface no more. Don't look now. 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 If you see somebody, I pray to God it won't be me. I've had enough of humanity. Why won't you just let me be? Don't look now. Don't look now. Don't look now. Don't look now. In her grave. 1, 2, 3, 4. I was heading on back to my house on the plains when I saw a line of people sneaking through the pine towards the clearing. Heading to that space, and what did I find? A plain wooden box with my baby inside. Life don't life don't mean nothing. Now my baby's in her grave. I looked into her face, and I thought I saw a movement on her lips. Could it be that she is still alive? my trembling fingertips, touching her cold soft skin. I drew her up and held her to my eyes. When I kissed her cold hard mouth, I found only maggots inside. In her grave. Hang on to your innocence. They deafen me, my baby's lying dead in front of me in a pool of blood, holes in her bag. I can barely keep it together as I run through the door to my car to get my 44, them bullets in her. You know they were meant for me. Shots, you know I don't feel a thing. No one leaves this place tonight but me.